Welcome to Virtually Sunday, presented by Whatsoever You Do Incorporated in Green Bay, Wisconsin. My name is Tony Pickler, the Mission Outreach Director for Resurrection Parish in Green Bay. Late last fall, a woman at our parish gave me a book entitled King, A Life, written by Jonathan Eeg. I've read other biographies of Martin Luther King Jr. before, most of them shorter than this 650-page boat anchor of a book. But what intrigued me the most, other than the comprehensive journey through King's life, were the tremendous ups and downs, the high points and the low points of his short life. Of course, one of the most influential and important high points in his life and ministry was the March on Washington in August of 1963. 250,000 people attended the march that day at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. And as the book chronicles, there were many dignitaries that I was unaware had even taken part in the festivities. Among them were Harry Belafonte, Jackie Robinson, Sidney Poitier, Lena Horne, Mahalia Jackson, James Baldwin, Sammy Davis Jr., and so many others. This was the pinnacle for the civil rights movement. It was the mountaintop experience. It was the high water point of MLK's career as a civil rights activist. And it will forever go down as one of the greatest speeches by a leader in the history of humankind. Martin Luther King Jr. needed this glorious moment, this mountaintop experience, this time when he was transfigured into the great leader that he was, being affirmed that he was on the right path in terms of laws and structures to ensure that all people were created as the equal persons that they are created to be. Why did he need this transformative experience of knowing that he was doing good work, God's work? Because 5 short years later, an assassin's bullet would be fired into his head and kill him. He knew the pain was on the way. He knew the struggle for civil rights, for equal rights, would eventually cost him his life. But it was the transfiguring experience of August 28th, 1963, that carried him forth to be able to withstand the trials and the tribulations of his ministry. In this weekend's scripture readings, we are reminded that we all have mountaintop experiences, glorious moments when we know that we are in the presence of God, moments of grace when we can almost tangibly feel that presence of the holy. Jesus had such a moment in the presence of his inner circle, the trio of Peter, James, and John. But rather than remain forever in the afterglow of that mystical, mysterious, but glorious experience of God's presence, Jesus warns his followers to not tell anyone till after he was killed, buried, and then risen from the dead. So what did this implicitly tell the 3 disciples? That there was going to be some suffering and even death up ahead. They better enjoy this glorious moment now because it was going to need to take them through the challenging times ahead. Suffering and death, glorious transformation and transfiguration. They both go hand in hand. We need the transfigurations, the transformation experiences to carry us through the dark times of doubt, pain, and loss, which leads us to our lives today. These moments of grace, these times when God is especially present to us, carry us through the dark and difficult times. I'm often struck by the fact that when I attend the funeral of a friend or family member, there are generally 2 types of people at the gathering. There are those who do not see any meaning or purpose beyond what they experience in the here and now. And then there are those who have great faith in something more to this life, some connection to the holy or sacred. It's in these moments that I often wonder, how does someone make sense of this travesty of death, if not for some faith, some belief that there is a God, a holy one, who accompanies us on the journey of life and provides glimpses into that reality with transfiguring, transformative moments when the space between the sacred and the ordinary becomes very thin, a thin space. That's the space between our moments of struggle or challenge and that of transfiguration. May those glorious mountaintop experiences carry us through the deep, dark valleys that we must go through in our lifetime. always, we believe, it is God who is reaching out to us, reminding us that we are beloved, that we are worthy, that we are special, and that our lives have been transfigured to God's. Let us walk forward into the mystery of this life, confident that God is always with us. And may the Spirit of hope lead us through these remaining days of Lent. Peace be with you.